Dioghiva Karja, and welcome back to another short lesson about Irish grammar. So today we're going to look at how to make sentences about the present in Irish, obviously. So in English, present tense is, for example, we could say Dimitri eats, William eats, Adam and Suzanne swim. So we're talking here not really about the present, because the present is right now, but more about habitual things. And in Irish, this is kind of what the tense is called. It's the habitual tense. So keep that in mind. We're always discussing things that happen regularly. Like might be every weekend, every day. Like I go to work. That's not right now. That's in general. It's every day. Let's take a step back and just look at this in English a bit more. If you think of this in how would you ask Dimitri, for example, if he talks every day? You say, does Dimitri, or do you, well, let's keep it in third person. Does Dimitri talk? Okay, so we're using that verb do here to kind of indicate that it's habitual. If you want to say he doesn't do this every day, Dimitri does not talk. Okay, so that does again. And now if we go to the positive, Dimitri talks. So suddenly we've left out this do. But you could keep it in. Dimitri does talk, although normally we'd just say Dimitri talks. And again, if you have knowledge of other European languages, they don't have this do to denote this habitual sense. So again, it seems to be something that came actually from the Celtic languages. So I want you to think not Dimitri talks, but Dimitri does talk. I think this will help you translate more directly into Irish. So it's always with do. In Irish, do is, well, there's two forms. We'll look at the first form. It's just un. So it's just un sound. But in English, you put the do before the verb, right? Dimitri does talk. In Irish, the do gets attached to the verb at the end. It's called a suffix. So we know some verbs here already, like we had tá Dimitri ag caint. So we know that verb caint is talk. So you want to say do talk, does talk. You say caint. What was the do again? Un. Caint un. Caintchun. Now we're just going to bring over the T from caint. Caintchun. Caintchun. So the stress is on the caint. Caintchun. Dimitri does talk. Caintchun. Dimitri. So it's basically like talk, do, Dimitri. Dimitri does talk. Caintchun. Dimitri. And again, this is a habitual thing, so we would probably say something like every day. Day in Irish, law, like to study the law. And every, there's a few words for it. I'm going to use gach, gach law. Caintchun Dimitri gach law. Caintchun Dimitri gach law. Let's look at Adam and Suzanne. So their verb was snav. And that was the verbal noun, but the normal verb form is also snav. So if it was caintchun, then it would become snaven. All right, so Adam and Suzanne swim every day. They do swim every day. Snaven. Adam agus Suzanne gach law. And William, he eats. So ihe, that was our verbal noun form, but the verb is I. So it should be ihen Dimitri gach law. Ihen. Okay, so let's go on to the negative now. Again, it works in the same way as we previously looked at, but this time we don't need kneel because we don't have the verb ta. So we have a different verb now. So caintchun Dimitri. Dimitri doesn't talk. Just going to put the ni there. Ni caintchun Dimitri. Now after ni, we have to mutate the k at the front of caint. It goes from k to ch. It's a very close sound. Not a big difference there. It's like a KH sound. So ni caintchun Dimitri. William eating. Okay, eat. I starts with a vowel sound. You cannot soften a vowel, so it's just ni ihin. So ihin doesn't change at all. Ihin will gach law. Ni ihin will gach law. Snav. Now S and N in snav, you cannot put a H between this. You cannot soften this S. Many S's you can, but not an SN. So again, it just becomes ni snaven. Adam agus Suzanne gach law. If you want to turn that into a question, we use our question word. On. Now we have to eclipse the next word, but again, there's no eclipses for S. So just an snávan, Adam agus is an, gach lá. William, you want to turn this into a question? Does William eat every day? Again, you can never eclipse a vowel. You know, these mutations only exist for consonants. So just anihin, William, gach lá, anihin. Does William eat every day? Down with Dimitri now. Okay, so his verb, kaint. Now that does start with a consonant. So k, we're going to have to eclipse the k after on. So we can't say on kaintchen. So k in Irish will always be eclipsed by a g. If you have any experience with Japanese or Russian, you'll know that there's this connection between a g and a k. Same in Irish. So not on kaintchen, but on gaintchen. So the k is completely eclipsed, completely swapped out for the g. On gaintchen, Dimitri gach lá. So let's run through that very quickly and do a few. So we say ihin will gach lá. Chaintchen, or rather kaintchen, Dimitri gach lá. Ní snávan, Adam agus Suzanne gach lá. On gaintchen, Dimitri. So there's an eclipses there. Does he speak every day? Or does he talk rather? And on ihin will gach lá. So all of these verbs we've identified here, snáv, kaint, I, you'll notice they have one thing in common. They're all one syllable verbs. And this is a big distinction in Irish. We have one syllable verbs, which is the vast majority of verbs. And then we have verbs with more than one syllable. Usually two syllables. I think there might be one or two with more. But this is how we distinguish. One syllable verbs, two syllable verbs. So up until now, we've always been using do as un. However, with a two syllable verb, it'll become ion. So un now becomes ion. So let's take a verb. For example, let's look at Sarah. So Sarah's watching something. The verb to watch, there's a couple of them. I'm going to choose brani. Brani. So we're going to have to take away this ending, this E part. So we're left with just bran. We want to say Sarah does watch TV every day, so we need to put on our suffix. It's not branun, that's for one syllable verbs. We need the two syllable verb version. So that was ion, so branion. Branion Sarah. So Sarah does watch. We want to negate this. Ni, so we need to soften our first letter here. Our first letter is a B, softens to a V. So ni vranian. So the B is completely replaced by a V. Ni vranian. Sarah. Sarah does not watch. And if you want to turn this into a question, again, we're going to use our on. Our on has to cause eclipses in the next word. So a B is eclipsed by a M. So that becomes on mranian. Mranian Sarah. Does Sarah watch? So we have our normal mutations happening there after ni and on. But what I really wanted to show you was that the other form of do. So for one syllable verbs we had un, kaintchen, ihan. For two syllable verbs, ion, branion, Sarah. Now there is, again, a few caveats. There are a few two syllable verbs, usually those ending in on or all. For example, to drive, chimon, which will act like a one syllable verb. So you wouldn't say chimonion, you'd say chimonun. But those are the exceptions. For most verbs, you will either add un if it's one syllable or ion if it's two syllable. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it was informative, and let me know if you have any questions, and I look forward to seeing you in another lesson soon. Slán live.